Yo, and welcome to the 105th episode of Lake of Rage, a Pokemon trading card game podcast. I'm your host, as always, Kevin Clementi, aka Mellow_Magikarp. I'm joined today by a very special temporary guest host. Joining us for the first time, someone who I've been wanting to have on the podcast, fresh off of a Singapore regional win. We have the one, the only Kashvinder Singh Mann. Cash, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
So we got a very special episode for y'all today. We are going to get into some rapid strike questions. Of course, got to get to know Cash a little bit better. Then we're going to talk about your history as a player, because I feel like you're someone that everyone on Pokemon Twitter has seen for sure. And if you're not on Pokemon Twitter, unfortunately, I think you do have to get there. And Cash is definitely an Insta follow for that one. Then we'll talk about the regional win that you had a couple weeks ago at the time of recording, and then hopefully get to talk a little bit about your work with PokeStats, where if people don't realize they know you, that is where they know you from. You are one of the brains and one of the hardest workers behind the PokeStats page.
Thank you.
First things first, most importantly, those rapid strike questions. So you're going to have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can with no explanation. And
okay.
I'm going to call you out. In the pre-recording, you did brag.
I did, yeah.
That you were going to be able to do this without explaining your answer. So let's see if that happens.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Question number 1. Do you prefer winter or summer?
Summer.
What's your favorite snack?
Pocky.
Favorite retro format to play?
2018 NAIC.
What's your favorite deck ever?
Reshizard.
Would you rather be early or be late?
Early.
Do you prefer soup or salad?
Soup.
Toppings on your perfect pizza?
Chicken.
What color sleeves do you use?
Any.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Juniper, sycamore, oak, rowan, or magnolia?
Oak.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Favorite regional location you've been to?
Kuala Lumpur.
What's your favorite holiday?
Japan.
Holiday.
New Year. Yes. Yeah.
Mario Bros. Or Legend of Zelda?
Mario Bros.
Rate your karaoke skills on a scale of 1 to 10.
0.
What food are you best at cooking?
None. I can't cook.
How many pairs of shoes do you own?
2.
What's your favorite region in a Pokemon game?
Johto.
And that is time. And I think your bragging worked. That was a record. You answered 18 questions. My goodness.
Nice.
All right. That works.
The holiday one's probably be, I forgot. I was like, holiday. Yeah, Japan. Oh, wait. You mean actual holiday. Yeah.
So you said Johto. Why Johto?
Yeah. That's the one I got into. Like, I started playing, like, I didn't actually even play the Gen 1 games. Like, I just watched everything, but I started playing Crystal and I fell in love with the game. And Johto has a special place in my heart, I guess. Yeah.
Crystal was such a good game. That was
I think I still have it with me.
Yo, you still have your original Crystal version?
Yeah. I think I still have it with me if I can find it, but probably not right now.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah. I know I have it somewhere, but I can't find it.
And then,
but Crystal's my favorite game of all time.
Who's your starter in Crystal?
Cyndaquil.
That's acceptable. As long as it's not Chikorita, that's fine.
Nah, I played Cyndaquil. I played Totodile. I tried Chikorita once. I just restarted the game. I couldn't do it.
Poor Chikorita. It's actually all the Gen 2 starters. It's been a while since they've had a good card, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, none of the Gen 2 had a decent card at all.
Right? Because if you want to count Quick Ripening Herb Meganium, but that wasn't actually a good card. It was just it was around, kind of, right?
Yeah, but Meganium is the reason I lost in top 8 and an SPE once.
We'll get to that one. I forgot about that. Okay. Before we get to that one, and this might actually transition kind of into it. You said your favorite deck ever is Reshizard. Which version of Reshizard? Is it when it first came out with the Lele and Kiawe? Is it the, Blacephalon Tempozard? Is it where is Reshizard in your heart?
19 energies. Just spam everything, hit everything. Ninetales Gust everything, and then the best part, Victini Prism Star. I love that card
So what was
because
that?
they never see it coming.
Gosh, I have a at Worlds I played against the Limitless squad with the Victini
Yeah,
was a surprise that it existed.
surprise. Yeah,
I forgot that card existed because I tested the same deck, right? The exact one you're talking
yeah,
about for that World Championship. I never got
yeah,
the Victini technology, so the deck was never good without the Victini. With the Victini, I was like,
yeah.
oh, it's
The
very good.
Victini made it. It just recovers everything, and then you can just start doing everything again.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I that is a good choice. I was a Pikarom player that entire format, but that was a good deck.
I tried. I tried to make Pika Rom work. I just didn't click.
So I want to talk a little about your history as a player, and we started to allude a little bit of it, but you have several very good results, and I feel like just being outside of the like North America Europe region, people
Yeah,
kind of ignore that. So when did you start playing? When did you start playing competitively? And can you walk us
yeah.
through some of your history as a player?
I actually started playing all the way back in 1999 base set, like the original
Nice.
set. I played that. I still have some of my base set cards, fossil cards, all that, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like collecting, playing cards. Just go to shops with our friends, play for fun. And then I think I stopped around 2003, around Aquapolis, around there,
Mhm.
just to focus on studies. So I'm like, I didn't think about cards at all right until 2015 when I went to Japan for the first time. Went to a random card shop. I saw a Charizard EX card. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Maybe I should get back into it. And that's where it all started again.
So has Charizard been your favorite Pokemon forever?
Charmander.
Oh, Charmander's your favorite. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yeah.
That explains the Charizard love though, because if you love Charmander,
Yeah.
you gotta like the whole
Yeah.
line.
Yeah. I have two favorites, Charmander and Hitmonlee, the one that people doesn't know about.
Hitmonlee? Wait. Okay, before we go further in your why Hitmonlee is one of your favorites.
Because it reminds me of my other favorite thing, which is wrestling. So it just kicking people around. So I'm like, I like Hitmonlee, and just like I think I have like a custom playmat, and my two Pokemon on there is Hitmonlee and Charizard.
Nice.
Yeah, my friend did it for me, so I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And people always looking at Hitmonlee. Oh, that's cool.
All right.
Yeah,
So you end up in Japan. You end up in a random card shop, which anyone who's ever been to Japan knows you
yeah.
will end up in a random card shop no matter
Those,
what.
yeah, those of you going to Japan this year for Yokohama, it's loads of them.
Yeah.
It's too many. Yeah.
It is, you have to make it a trip. Like you have to, if you're going, make it a full trip, go to multiple cities. It is next level.
Go to Akihabara. You'll
Yeah.
find it everywhere. Go to Akihabara, go to Ikebukuro for the Pokemon Center. You'll find everything there. It's a must go.
This is not the point of the podcast, but apparently it is now. When we went for our honeymoon, we were going so my wife could find
Yeah.
like a couple mangas that she wanted, like, in Japanese,
yeah?
the collectors is a thing. And every store we went to look for them had Pokemon cards. And I was like, all right, sick. I don't even have to go to a store. Like I could just browse
Yeah.
through the singles and look for my Gyarados and Magikarps and all that kind of stuff. It was great.
You can go to a random like book off and they'll have cards there as well.
Yeah, it is a very big thing, which I am incredibly jealous of.
Apparently now it's too huge. You can't even buy them anymore.
Yeah, the poor Iono hype is very real.
Yeah. Very real.
Okay, so you saw the Charizard EX that got you back into the game. Where did you
Yeah.
go from there?
So I started playing like I just saw like an advertisement for a pre-release. I didn't know what it was about, so I thought, okay, try it out. And it was evolutions. And I remember like evolution looked like the same cards from base. I'm like, oh my god, it's the same thing. Let me give it a try.
Yeah.
So I went to the pre-release. I got hooked right away. I'm like, I should try to start playing again. So I just try to find leagues and all that, find local leagues, start buying cards, start spending like $30 on max elixirs and Evital EX, and just stop building decks. And that's where it all started.
What does the card market look like in Singapore?
Pretty much the same, I guess. It's like No real difference to me. Yeah.
Okay. So like you're able to like find singles, but it's still obviously
Yeah.
expensive if the cards are playable and
Yeah, exactly.
okay. What was your first like competitive like regional SPE, something like that? How'd it go?
The first SPE I would say would be the 2017. Let me just check. 2017, 2018 Singapore SPE.
Yeah.
I was still, I guess, a casual player. I didn't know what I was doing.
Hmm.
Just like, you know what? That's an SPE. Everyone's going. I might as well go. And at that point, I haven't really done well. So I was like, okay, I'll just go with a deck I like, Ultra Necrozma and Malamar.
Oh no.
I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing, but apparently it worked because I ended up finishing 27th out of like 73 people,
Okay.
which is
Pretty good.
one of my one of my best results. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Maybe I can do well with this. So I just start trying again, and then after that, the next year, the SPE again. That's where I got top eight when I wasn't even trying.
Hey, yeah, because we got to say, what deck did you top 8 with?
Reshizard, but this was the different Reshizard version. This was the one with the Lele, the Kiawe, the and the three the Dennis that I played.
Nice. So this was that like
Because
Turbo Reshizard, I guess would be the name for it. I don't actually know if it had a name,
Turbo
but
yeah, because at that point I was looking at all the lists, like some played one, some played two, and then I got a list from a name that people might have heard of, Rukan Chao, the Malamar god.
yeah,
He
I
gave me this list. Yeah,
that's a name I haven't heard
gave
for
me
a while.
yeah, he gave me the list because I just actually finished my finals that week, so I didn't really have any practice at all. So I'm like, okay, anybody got a list? It's like I got you. Here's the list. I saw three the Dennis, a milk tank that heals. I think it was a milk tank.
Mhm.
It's the one where you attach an energy and you heal 90 damage. So that was
Yeah,
like the only two spicy cards in the list. It's like just Reshizard, Kiawe, and just ham. Just go for it.
just blow stuff up.
Blow stuff up. That's the plan.
You alluded to what beat you in top 8. So
Yeah.
I just want to know a little bit more about that one because I know it was a very, very good player that did do it, but can you explain that
Yes.
match a little bit?
So his name, I think everybody's heard of, Jitmin. He was playing a Nidoqueen, Meganium. I can't remember the third. I think it was Swampert. Nidoqueen, Swampert, Meganium's like his whole board is just going to be stage twos. Get the Nidoqueen to attack, get the Swampert to draw, and then the Meganium, as we talked about, is the one to evolve everything. And when he sets up, it's not much I can do about it. And I remember that match because I also played EV and Snorlax GX. And I remember thinking, right, that's the one I have to use because they attack for the evolution Pokemons. Like, all right, go for it. And I also remember that match because I made a mistake of benching Miltank one turn too early. He bossed it up, bricked me. I'm like, okay, that's it, game over. I learned from that mistake ever since.
So, what did you do from learning from that mistake? How did those next seasons go? Because the top 8, incredibly good, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get there. I have not won
Um,
those win-ins yet. So I'm looking at you and I'm like, all right, he's been
yeah.
where I want to go. So how did
Yeah.
those next couple seasons go?
So the next season, after like I got 108 points, not even trying. So I thought, you know what, let me try. So next one was 2019 and 2020. And then right off the gate, I got a top four with Rashizard. That's the one with Arcanine. I
Yeah.
think yeah, the good Arcanine. And then after that, I got my first League Challenge win with Rashizard in August. And that's the one with the 19 energy build.
Mhm.
And that story was also quite interesting because my final round, I had to play against a name that I think everyone's heard of, Clifton Gold.
Someone who has top cut multiple worlds, if I'm
Multiple
remembering
worlds,
correctly.
top four in Latin America,
Mhm.
LAIC, I think. Yeah. So I saw the pairing like Clifton, I'm like, oh god, it's him. And he was playing Pikarom, and I was playing Reshizard. And the thing that won me the match was actually the Victini.
Yeah, let's go, Victini.
So Victini is the reason why I have League Challenge somewhere up there. The Luzamine promo.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're heading on the path to worlds in that year. It sounds like
Yeah,
at
so it's
least.
like yeah, so I got a couple of points from League Challenge. I got a top 4 finish at the League Cup, my first League Cup cut with Rashizat, which got ended by Clifton. No surprise there. Because he saw me play Rashizat, he took Rashizat, and then he beat me with it.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, then I got a top 4 League Challenge with uh, another Charizard card, but it's not someone people play. It's the Team Up Charizard.
Yeah. That was the
Yeah.
one that anyone who played the theme deck format on
Yeah.
PTCGO, you know what that Charizard does. Accelerates
And
from
I
the deck
so
to
I
itself.
actually yeah, and I got 10 CP with that, so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, because that's the
Then I
first
got
time you actually got to play Charmander in a Charizard deck as well, right?
yes, exactly. Yeah. That was my reason, but I can play Charmander. Cool. Then I got top 8 in a League Cup with Ultra, Necrozma, and Melma. Just a meta call, which somehow worked. Then I went to OCIC for the first time, hoping to maybe, score points. Didn't do so well with that one. Ended up 3-5-1. It happens. I played against a lot of cool players though, so that was fun.
Yeah, OCIC is
Went for
one of
the
those ICs that is terrifying because there's so
yeah
many good players compared to the number of people there. It's like
yeah.
every round is hard.
So the first round already, I went to my table, I sat down, and the next person I saw was, oh, it's Pedro. So I was like, hey man, I watch your stream. Big fan. It's like, hey, thanks man. It's like you look around, it's like there's Todd right there, there's Hunter Butler right there. It's like, oh my god, I'm just surrounded by top players. I'm like, what am I doing here?
I mean, you will eventually prove that you deserve to be there.
Yeah, hopefully on the way right there. Yeah. Then I tried, okay, I dropped out of the OCIC, so I thought, okay, let's try the cup. Played the cup, went for 3, so that was nice. I ended up 36 out of 128, and then played the league challenge, and that also went quite well. I went 3-2, finished ninth, bubbled out,
Yeah.
and the guy who beat me for it, Pedro.
Well, that's if you're gonna lose it, that is someone to lose too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but I actually did get to play against Henry in one of those matches, and that was a cool experience because he was the defending world champion.
Yeah. That's always an
Yeah, and
exciting test
and
yourself.
also Yoshiyuki. Yeah, and Yoshiyuki, the one who just won the Champions League.
Oh, nice. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, those guys. I was like, oh man, you don't get to play against top tier players like that every day.
Yeah.
So that was a real learning challenge.
That's exciting. That's something I'm
Yeah,
always like, oh, I really I want to play against more of those top players to really test.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's actually why I went to OCS. I was like, maybe I get to play against these top players, and I did get to play against these top players.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got a top 4 finish at the last league challenge in Singapore, and then you know what happened. Season canceled.
Yes. Be unfortunate. So
Yeah.
were you sounds like you were on a pretty good pace though in terms of like
I was at 102 CP, so I just needed about 148. And that was like, I had already planned like first half of the season, whatever. I'm still studying.
yeah.
The second half of the season, that's where I'm going to go for it. I already planned like, okay, I'm going to go to Indonesia regional, I'm going to go to Philippines regional. And something that people might not know, I was planning to go to NAIC.
That would have been so cool.
Yeah. I was planning to go to NAIC and whichever US region was before that, because I was going to be in Canada at that time.
Oh, that's right, because there was
But
something, yeah, it was like Milwaukee, I think was the one right
yeah,
before it. Yeah.
yeah, because after my studies, I already planned to just go to Canada for a bit, stay there, and now look like, okay, Ohio's not that far away from Calgary. Why not?
That's I mean, yeah,
But
why not?
yeah, but unfortunately, season canceled, so nothing we can do about it. All our points gone, so we have to just try again.
So when you say all our points gone, I do want to jump into I know there was like a lot of pandemic stuff, which is where people might also know your name from, a lot of those online tournaments,
Yeah.
but what happened when things restarted for your region?
So Singapore used to be part of the Oceania region, which is Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, that region.
Mhm.
In the pandemic, something happened where TPC took us over. So TPCI's Oceania region is now just Australia and New Zealand. That's it. We are now part of TPC Japan, so it's Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines. We're all in our own circuit,
Mhm.
but it's not even a circuit. It's like we're in our own country. We play in our own players. That's it.
Is it region
So
locked for you?
yes,
Okay.
it's kind of it's kind of country lock, region lock, whatever you
Oh,
want to
okay.
call it. Like
Yeah, country lock
so
makes
in our
sense.
yeah, so in our events, you have to prove that you're either a resident or permanent resident in the country to play in town leagues and all that regional leagues.
Mhm. Okay. So
So
now you suddenly, instead of traveling to, like you said, you went to Australia for OCIC and you were able to go to
yeah,
Philippines or had planned to go to Philippines for one of the
plan
regionals. And
yeah.
yeah, now it's
I
suddenly
I
like,
did go to Malaysia for a regional, like that was the one and only regional, and even then I got to see like a lot of the Australian players, up close and personal.
mhm.
So now with this new change, that's not gonna happen. We don't even get to play against the Malaysian guys. We don't even get to play against the Philippine guys. It's just we're stuck in our own bubble.
So it's like everything is a league cup, I guess, for lack of a very large, important league cup. But
Oh yeah, yeah,
so I want to talk a little about the invite system too. I know you've mentioned
yeah.
some of it on Twitter before, but I'm always a little confused because it seems confusing to me coming from
Okay,
TPCI's very straightforward. So how do you actually earn a world's invite in
okay.
Singapore?
So for us, it's from what they've said, the top four in the final standings, which is we don't have CP, we have CSP.
Mhm.
So the top four at the end of the standings will get a day one invite. And then we have a championship event. The winner of the championship event gets a day two invite. So we're looking at possibly 4 or 5 people getting an invite to World Championship.
How many players approximately, obviously you don't know the exact number, how many players approximately are in the country for there only to be
So
4 to 5 invites?
so I'll try to give a guesstimate, but in the last league, regional league, the one that I played in, we had 189 players.
So there's almost
There's
200 just in that one.
yeah, just I know a few players didn't attend, so I will guess to say maybe 220, 230 at least.
Okay, so it is a very exclusive, you know, let,
Very
let, let's
exclusive.
say 5 out of, even if we go lower and say 200, that's
Yeah,
that's pretty low odds right there. So it's
and
tough.
and here's the thing: if we're talking about Singapore, we have to mention we have a lot of world's caliber players. Jip Min,
Mhm.
Clifton, but he's not playing anymore. We have top 16 finishers, Xavier. We have Jeremy. We have Joey. Like these are players who have been there, done that, and only 4 of us get to go there. So like we have to really fight it out against all these top players and all the new top players as well.
Yeah,
Just to get just to get there.
it's that difference between, like, where we're at, we're able to, like, okay, like I live in Washington, right? I play against,
Yeah,
there's several like very good world's caliber players, but we can all make it to worlds
yeah,
because there's no technical limit, right? So that I hate hearing that, right? Of like, you have the same level of like, okay, there's a lot of world's caliber players for you, but
yeah,
there's a limit. You can't just like, oh, all of you do very well and then you can all
yeah.
make it.
Because for you guys, it's like you have that threshold. Like okay, you hit 350 or 250, you're in. That's it. Like
Yeah.
you can get it, and you can know that you're invited by January or February. We don't know until July at least, or June, I guess.
Have you
So it's
booked your
like
ticket to Japan just in case?
no,
Okay.
no. I'm not jinxing it yet. No.
That's fair.
Yeah. So it's like we can fight the whole season, but we only know until the very end at June who's going to Worlds. So it's a bit difficult. It's like I might be doing well, but things can happen. So it's like you know, let's see how it goes, how it plays out. Because anything can happen. We still have a championship that's gonna give a lot of points.
Is it kind of like the IC system for us where it's way more than the regionals do?
Yes. So the regional league, the one I won, I got 1,000 points. But for the championship, if you win that, you get 1,000, 1,500 points.
Mhm.
Second gets 1,200 points. Top four gets the same as what I did, 1,000. So it's slightly more than what we get in the regional league.
Yeah, which is pretty significant, right? Like
Yeah,
someone can jump you out of nowhere by winning the whole thing, and it's like, oh no,
exactly.
where are?
Because before, okay, yeah. So you're just saying where was I? So before
Yeah.
the regional league, I was actually 20th.
Oh
Like
no.
I just had only, yeah, I was. So what happened was I was doing all. So just a recap of my season. I was
Yeah.
doing okay. Got points in the first three events. So I'm like 480 points in just the first three events. I'm like, okay, this is good. We can actually push for it.
Mhm.
And then from November to May, before the event, I scored points one time, and my season just went crashing down. It's like bad results, bad variance, best of one stuff. Nothing you can do about it.
Mhm.
Bad draws. Play consistent deck, but if you just start a Mew, nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I guess we,
Bro-
we we never mentioned. I don't think.
Oh yeah, we played best of one.
Yeah, TPC took over, and suddenly it's best of one.
All of our all of our events are best of one. So every town league I've played is best of one. So you can imagine how stressful it is. You cannot afford one bad match. One bad match might just put you out of points.
How many, like, what's an average, like, oh, you have to go like 6-2 or something like that? Like, can you afford to lose a second game technically? Can you afford to lose a third
So
game?
so usually it's about, so for the town leagues it's about 7 rounds.
Mhm.
No matter what it's either 6 rounds or 7 rounds, mostly 7 rounds. So from what I've seen, it's always about like 5-2 gets top eight or bubble out.
Okay.
So you can afford to lose 2 games. But the problem is like if you start badly and then you have those hands, you start 0-2 him like, oh boy, how are we gonna get through that? So it's
So
a real
I
I'll go on.
am curious, since we have the platform, and I know kind of where your opinion is going to go. What would you say to the people who are saying, hey, maybe we should try best of one instead of best of three in the rest of the world? Currently shaking your head no very aggressively to that, but why no?
Variance. Simple as that. You don't want your one round or your one event to be dependent on one bad hand that can just ruin everything. It's like so many things can happen in best of one. You could play a really good deck and just hit all bad matchups. You could play a really good deck and just get unlucky, play Narcissus, no energy, you get stuck.
Mhm.
Or like me, I played a Mew. Had 3 games in a row I started Mew, nothing else. Or you can have those kind of games where I played Lugia, I'm like, I'm fine, I'm safe. My opponent, turn one, hits everything, seven in lost zone. Here's a Raikou. Oh, right.
Yeah, so
This kind of things can happen. This kind of things can happen in best one.
that is killer. So you say, I mean, it just hurts to hear. Uh,
Yeah.
your experience in best of three did feel better than your experiences in best of one, it sounds like.
Yep. Yep. Because you can play around best of three, like you know what you can do in the next. Like you can see the first game, you know what's happening. Like okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I can do that. You can take that in, play the second game, win that, and then try to come back for the third game.
Mhm. I want to dive into then, because the next part in the story of like, okay, there was a bit of badness, but then you won recently a regional.
So,
Yo, you got
and I
the,
have the plot right here to prove it that it's right here.
let's go. Oh, so for our audio only listeners, this is actually really sick. It's got Charizard, Pikachu, and
Yeah,
Rayquaza on. It's got the champion. Have you tweeted out a
I'm just
picture of
happy.
this?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
and I put out a picture of Scorvin on it.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, what deck did you play and why did you play it?
So I played Arctina because I was testing 4 different decks. I was testing Arctina, I was testing Lost Box, I was testing Mew, and I was testing Gardevoir.
Mhm.
And Mew, I already knew I wasn't going to play because of the previous event.
That's fair.
Gardevoir, yeah, Gardevoir, I just felt it was a bit slow for some reason. I couldn't set up, and it was a best of one, so I didn't feel good about it.
Mhm.
Arctina and Lost Box. And I was actually leaning towards Lost Box. And then I was reminded, right? Oh yeah, our games are best of one, 25 minutes. and lost box games can take a while.
25
And
minutes is
also
actually
just
really relevant to that. I did not know that
yeah.
part.
So also, and I have to mention 25 minutes, and if we go to time and
Mhm.
we can't sell the match, double game loss.
Do you get the +3 turns, or is it 25 minutes only?
So okay, let me try to explain our ruling.
Oh no.
So end of game, if it's the person going first, the person going the time is called on the turn of the first player that went first.
Mhm.
The second player gets a turn, and then it ends.
Okay, so
If
you
time is
don't get the 3 turns.
yeah, if time is called on the player going second, he plays his turn. That's it. The first player doesn't get a turn.
So it's even stricter. It's not only is it 25 instead of
Even
like
stricter.
30 that we get at League Cups usually. You don't get the
Yeah,
extra turns, and then you get a double game loss.
you get a double game loss if you can't figure it out.
Oh
Yeah,
no. So ties
and
are just not a
as
thing
we
at
said,
all.
losses are no ties whatsoever. And as we said, losses are really painful. And if you get double game loss, that's equally painful.
Yeah, because then you're both just kind of like not out of
Yeah,
it technically, but you're out of it.
yeah. Because I remember even watching at the regional leagues, one of the matches like that could determine my resistance. They went to time, so I got a bit nervous. Like, oh, what's gonna happen here? But they got a gentleman's agreement, so the guy who won helped my resistance.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get why you chose Arctina
Okay,
as
so
the deck,
Arctina,
but yeah, why is it so good?
I thought it had a really good matchup against most of the main decks to look out for. Like Arctina had a really good matchup against Lost Box,
Mhm.
either any variant. I felt Arctina had a good matchup against Gardevoir. Mew I thought was tricky but winnable. And the only one that I was questioning was the Lugia matchup. I didn't feel good about it, but I thought, okay, Arctina, plan, path, judge, and just hope. Just hope.
That sounds about what I would have assumed the Arctina versus Lugia matchup was.
Yeah.
What are
So
some of the
yeah.
matchups that you hit throughout the day?
So round ones and round three, I played against Lost Box,
Mhm.
and that's where Sharon came in handy for me. Especially in the round three match, I played Sharon. I did my thing. I played Palpet. And then my opponent's like, "You got three cards. There's no way you have Sharon. Hit top deck Sharon after Palpet." So
That's that best of one variance that you want though.
yeah, that's the best one I want. But that game for me proved that Sharon worth his place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then round two, I played against the Dialga Magnezone, which I hadn't played against before. I had to pick up a Rotom V. Look, okay, that's a V with an ability. I know what to do. Path Judge, and that won me the game.
Was this I'm gonna check real quick. There was a Dialga Magnezone that did well, right? No, that was not in the Singapore regional. Okay, never mind. Ignore
That was
me.
in Philippines. Yeah,
Okay.
I actually helped my friend test for that matchup.
Nice. Sorry, I'm a big Dialga Magnezone fan.
Yeah, so she asked me to help her test the match because that was her top 16 opponent. I tested the game. I thought, actually, this deck is kind of fun.
It is. You
Yeah.
just like your max elixir every turn with the Magnezone, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's great.
I managed to hit like 10 energies in with two Magnezone at one point. This deck is nuts.
Okay, so you hit the Dialga Magnezone, you hit a couple lost boxes, so you're sitting at 3-0.
Trio, and then comes the really funny part of the tournament where rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all bad matchups.
What's a bad
Round
matchup? Yeah.
so round 4, Mew. So we know the story. Who hits Path Judge first pretty much wins.
Yep.
And this one was pretty funny because my opponent started first. He had two Genesect pass. I'm like, oh, okay, I got a shot. And my hand, I had Arceus, I had energy, but I was looking at my hand like two boss, a research, Arceus Vista. I'm like, I don't think I can research because my game plan against Mew is to go around the Mew,
Mhm.
boss the Genesect, then go after the Mew. So I was thinking like, I can't research this away. Let me just act as if my hand is dead. So I just, yeah, pass. Here you go. So my opponent was like, here, let me help you judge.
It's like,
So I was smiling, but I'm like, Come on, man. Why did you do this to me?
It's like I did
And
nothing on my
and
turn. Why would you judge me?
yeah, I was like, I made it look like I had nothing, even though I had everything.
Yeah.
And then he judged me, and the judge worked. I just got nothing out of it.
Yeah,
So that
that
was my
sounds
first
right.
loss. Yeah, that was my first loss. And then I played against Lugia, and this is where Vigard came in handy. First turn, Arceus. He went first. Versus Arceus, Vigard, and G pass. So now I'm just sweating. I'm like, hopefully I can survive. So my opponent gets a bit excited, gets Lugia, everything hits, and then we both look like, that's a Vigard. You don't do 220.
Nice. So they got the no double turbos on it, huh?
Yeah, they thought they hit 220. It's like, oh, perfect then. And then I just telling my opponent, I got a Vigard. That's not a KO.
Did they have the Stone Journer in their deck or no?
They had the Stone Journal. I had to make a really risky move near the end of the game. They had like an Evital with energies, a Stone Journal with no energies, and two Archeops. And I was thinking, if I hit this Evital, he's just gonna get the what's that item called?
The urn.
The urn. Yeah. So if I hit that Evital, that Stone Journal is gonna get me. So I had to make a risky play, take off my last boss, get the Stone Journal, hit. And then I checked the discards like, oh, that's an Urshifu. Uh-oh. The VMAX.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, just praying that the Urshifu doesn't show up. And then he scoops right away and shows me the Urshifu was priced.
Ooh, that's that's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
All right, so you're sitting
At,
pretty at this point, right? You're 3-1?
at this point, I
4-1.
was 4-1. Next round, another Lugia. But this time I get to go first. So I'm like, okay, do my turn. But I only started a Arceus and a Giratina. And then I made the mistake of not attaching an extra energy to Giratina
Mhm.
because he knocked out my Arceus. And then my Giratina had just 4 energies. So I kind of knew like I'm running out of energies. And there was a point of the game where he still had this Luminion on the board. I'm like, if I can set up an Arceus, I could still win. But because I didn't attach one more energy to Giratina, I think that's where I lost the game.
Yeah, that's when my experience with the deck was attacking with Giratina early hurts because you just
Yeah,
lost on your energy and you're like, I'm gonna run out. This is bad.
yeah. Because that's the two things I had. I'm like, well, I guess I have to do it. Attack with the Giratina. Like, if I just had attached one more energy to the Giratina, I could start attaching to the Arceus, win the game right there. But I got a bit nervous and just miscalculated and got punished for it.
Unfortunately, that will happen, but it worked out in the end, which is good.
Yeah. So now it's 4-2. So now it's the win and in game to
Mhm.
get to 5-2. Hopefully bubble in. So I see my opponent who I don't know, no idea what deck they're playing. I flip Arceus, they flip Inteleon V.
I was not expecting that one.
So yeah, so I've like before the event, like I'll do like all this match, like write down all my matchups, like Mew, okay, slightly bad matchup but decent. Lugia, worst matchup. And then I looked at the list, like the worst matchup for Octina is that deck, Rapid Strike Urshifu and Inteleon. So imagine my joy when I saw that deck in round 7
Yep. On the winning end.
on the winning in the worst matchup statistically, and that's the one I had to play against.
So how did you possibly pull that one off?
He bricked.
Oh, so the classic Urshifu and Teleon.
He had an Inteleon, and Remoraid pass. I'm like, oh, okay. Attach energy. Wait, pass. Then he did some stuff. Hit the Inteleon, whatever. So first thing I did, energy, Arceus, Vista. I'm looking at the bottom like that auxiliary is annoying. Toss it up
Yeah.
straight away. Go for it.
There goes their
And
whole engine at that point.
yeah, because I knew I've played against this kind of decks before. I'm like, the auxiliary is the one that's gonna run the whole show. So I had to go for that. So set up my board, set up my Giratina, which I made a funny play. I put a V-Guard energy on it, and Intello couldn't two-shot it because it's only hitting for 120.
Poor Inteleon. I want that card to be good so bad, and it's just
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. But I got a bit lucky in that game because my opponent puts a Rapid Strike Shifu a bit late into the game where I already had Giratina ready.
Mhm.
So I'm like, all right, let's go, bro. Get the Tina, boss, KO it. Now I just need to take 3 prizes, and there's 2 Inteleons on the bench.
Easy.
So yeah, so play my turn, hit his Inteleon. He retreats. So now I'm a bit trouble. I'm like, if I don't hit this boss, I might lose this game. So this is where our good friend Scovet came in handy. Scovet, shuffle the hand. I just need something good. Top card, boss. Gotcha.
No way. The
That was
Squovit
for the
into
win.
it.
Yeah, that was for the win.
That's after watching the Portland regionals. I can't believe Squovit just keeps doing it, just all the time.
Scovet, Scovet saved me a lot in the tournament. Trust me, it's so good.
Get your Squovits now, everyone.
Yeah.
So
So
you make top cut. Got to be feeling good at this
yeah,
point.
I'm like delighted because like I said, my season just went downhill after October. I'm like, oh man, I actually made top cut. I'm gonna score points. Maybe I can get top 8, or maybe I can get top 4. Maybe I can get top 2.
Yeah.
Maybe I can still survive the season. Because my whole aim for that weekend is like, let's score some big points. Try to push for that invite. So I'm like, okay, top 16, I got my points. Now let's try to win the whole thing. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
See how it
So
goes.
it's a top 16 cut, correct?
So top 16 cut,
Okay.
and then the magic words: top 16, best of 3.
Ooh, okay.
So I start smiling. I'm like, all right, this is where we get to play Pokemon.
So I assume, yeah, at this point, things are going to go a lot better. Well, they already went
Yeah.
pretty well, but like things are feeling good.
Yeah, but the first opponent in top 16 is the Mew guy who beat me in round 4.
Now that's good. You got your revenge.
I got my revenge because he didn't set up quite well in either game, and I just got my perfect setup. Arceus, did my game plan, take the 2 Genesects, and then after that, the final KO with Giratina with the choice belt. Game over. Both
Nice.
times.
How many choice
And
belts do you
actually, the
have?
game, just the one.
Just the one? Nice.
Yeah. It was a hard decision, but I think one would be enough. And actually, top 16, there was a point where he could have won game 2, and I judged him out of his 2 balls. He got stuck because the path was there. He didn't get the vacuum.
Mhm.
So now it's up to me. I have to find my boss. Scovet, come on, buddy, give me something. First card, nothing much. You know what? Okay, it's okay. We still have Vibral. Vibral draws into the boss.
Nice.
Yeah.
You see, the Skovit's so good though. It's like, all right, I can just B-barrel up to 5 and I'm good to go.
Yeah, because my hand was rubbish because I had like nothing playable, like another judge. Like that's not what I want. I need to get boss.
Mhm.
So the good thing about Scovet is you just refresh your hand into anything else, and the best part is you put the cards into the bottom, so
Yeah.
you don't even see them at all. That's why Scovet is very underrated, I think.
I like one of my favorites because you played the Sharon's Care, which is something else
Yeah,
I'd been on, and you like Sharon's Care and Arceus. Put the energies back to
yeah,
the bottom so you can Arceus them back out with the other one. That's such a
yeah.
good feeling.
I think I did that against the Lost Box deck. I Sharon got my Arceus, and then because I was a bit scared to play Scovet in that match because Sableye. Then
Yeah.
I thought, you know what? I think I'm ahead. Scovet, get the energies back, and then managed to win from there.
Love to see.
Yeah.
So then going into top 8, what'd you hit?
So okay, so actually, so just a story like top 16 and Swiss rounds we played in one place.
Mhm.
So top 8, we heard that okay, top 8 meet up at the Pokemon Center. So I thought, oh wow, we're
That's
gonna play
cool.
Top Cut in the Pokemon Center itself. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cause like you can play in like all these locations. Like I'm sitting at the Pokemon Center. This is pretty cool.
So
The
you're
not
just
so
like
cool part is the
surrounded by all the Pokemon merch, all the stuff that
the
when we
plush,
go there, it's like, yeah,
the plushies, the Gyarados statue that was like behind us somewhere.
yeah,
It's like everything. Yeah. So we go to Pokemon Center. I had a pretty good feeling of like I can win this. Let's go for it.
nice.
Uh, So top 8, I made my first Arceus mirror match, but not Tina, Arceus, Duradon, and what was it? Vulpix.
Okay, so the Alex Shemansky
The
EUIC
Shabansky
list,
list.
yeah.
Yeah. But the first turn already we both messed up. He judged me to a really good hand. I had Tina, I had uh Bidoof, whatever, and Judge. So I'm like, Tina, Bidoof, Judge. And I took Starburst. And then I think it just nerves got better on me. I'm like, oh, I can evolve both of them right now. But I forgot I just played them. Then the judge like, wait, you just played them down. I'm like, oh right, I did do that. So like, just shake it off. Nerves, whatever.
Mhm.
Like, and then I got scared because my opponent already saw the two cards I took. Like, please don't judge me. Straight away he goes Colrus.
Ooh, that's a good feeling. Anytime they play something
Yeah,
that isn't a judge, you're like, oh, thank goodness.
yeah. And the best part is he attached an energy on his bench Arceus, but then he didn't attach on the main Arceus. So he tried to attach on the main Arceus, but he also forgot.
Okay, so you both made mistakes, and it sounds like
So we both made mistakes. So
yours
we
was
both
not
joking
as
like,
bad. Yeah.
yeah, it's not the best. We're like, hey, let's just wake up, let's play. Yeah, I mean it happens.
It does.
So first game I managed to set up quickly, get get the KO on his Duraludon, KO on this Arceus, cool. Second game, I start Arceus, pass. No energy. Because the game plan is always EA Sports, energy Arceus in the game.
I love it.
That's my game plan the whole time. EA Sports, energy Arceus. That's all I want. So game 2, I have one Arceus. All right, pass. He starts. Arceus. Pass. Okay. And then I think I top deck a DTE. DTE.
Nice.
And then I get DTE. So I had to just go for my Arceus V-Star, get the second Arceus, start charging everything up. And then he just got stuck and I managed to run away with it.
All right, let's go. We take those.
We take those. So next up is top 4. So top 4 was against Gudra. So I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. Because the one thing I have in my deck that most Arctina decks doesn't have is 2 escape ropes.
Perfect.
Specifically for Gudra.
Yeah, that's a great tech for that matchup, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first game actually I got a bit lucky because he started Drapion. So I'm like, right, 2 prizes there. Bench Comfy, prize number 3. Bench Comfy, prize number 4. Bench Greninja, prize number 5. And then the Gudra. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll just try to go around the Gudra.
Yeah.
Take the KO, take the KO. And then I think he got stuck, so he had to bench a Comfy. So I'm like, prize number 6. Right there.
Didn't even KO a single Gudra in the game.
I went around the Gudra the whole game. So I'm like,
Nice.
doesn't matter. Because of the 2 escape ropes.
Yeah, because it's like I can KO anything on your bench. Escape rope is boss at that point.
Yeah. So like because he kept hitting me from rolling at him, like, right, escape rope, bring out the other guy, just hit it. You can take the KOs, I don't care. Just go around the Gudra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the second game, I think he went first. He did Comfy, Greninja, did the Comfy, flower selecting, pass. I'm like, okay, could happen.
Yeah.
I did my turn, energy attach, pass. His turn. Comfy, flower selecting, pass. Now I'm thinking, oh, okay, something's going on. And I was holding on to my judge thinking he might set up. So I'm like, right, get the Arceus, V-Star, research, not using that judge.
No.
Start taking taking KOs. And now at this point I have a Arceus, 2 Arceus set up, one with 3 energy and a choice belt. So now I'm like, if you put that Gudra, I got a choice belt, I'm just gonna go for it. So he does put a Gudra. So I got my Arceus, I'm looking at my choice belt, I'm looking at my escape rope, like, I get that, I pretty much win.
Mhm.
Problem is I just didn't have V-Star.
Oh no.
So now I'm just hoping top deck, nothing, pass. Now attack, and then the Gudra comes in. And I'm like, only I had the Ultra Ball. So guess what? I top deck next card, next turn.
You get that Ultra Ball?
Ultra Ball, of course. But this is where I'm like, okay, there's one Gudra there. His hand is kind of big. I've got Path, I got Judge. Let's do it. Path, Judge, attack, whatever. Let's hopefully brick him.
Mhm.
Rolling Iron. I'm like, oh. So now I'm looking at my board with a Giratina that's already powered up, and I still have a choice belt. And so I'm doing the match. Shred 160, 190. That's more than enough. KO.
Nice. So shutting off the oh my gosh, was it the Moisture Star with the Path of
Moisture
the
Star,
Peak is
yeah.
perfect.
The path. Yeah. So now we're into the finals. So now I just have to wait. And then, I'm like, I'm too nervous. I can't watch the finals, semi-final match. Just go for a quick toilet break.
Yep.
Came back. You're playing against Jitmin. I'm like, right.
Oh
Because
no.
I texted my friends like, in a perfect world, I'll play in the finals against Jitmin.
Get your revenge. I mean, we went over the Nidoqueen matchup earlier. Like this is
So I'm
perfect.
like, so this is like, all right, revenge for 4 years ago. Here we go. So I actually told, we talked about it. He forgot about the match. So it's like, yeah, you were playing Nidoqueen. It's like, oh yeah, I did. Then I mentioned something like, I made a mistake, in that match. And then he goes, let's hope you make a mistake again. I'm like,
Appreciate the honesty from that one.
I'm like, let's try not to do that. So he was my one and only Gardevoir opponent the whole tournament
Mhm.
somehow. But like, okay, I'm okay with that because my game plan is simple: path, judge, pray.
Yeah, that sounds like a valid strategy.
Yeah. First game went pretty smooth. Path judge kind of worked.
Mhm.
He did get out of it, but it was a bit too late. Perfect game. Second game, not the best starts. I had Arceus, Athena, that's it. Then I put the Bidoof down, play my turn out. And then I put the Bibarel down. I'm like quite dependent on it because I still have nothing. And then he bosses the Bibarel straight away. I'm like, oh boy, that's trouble.
Yeah, it's like uh-oh.
Yeah, that's my draw engine. And then I'm left in a really awkward spot where I have a Arceus V and a Giratina V, and I don't know which one to promote because I have no V Star.
Mhm.
And I remember checking like I only have one Arceus V Star in the deck. I have two Giratinas V Star in the deck. So I thought, and I have a Judge. So I thought, right, I should go Giratina. Most likely I'll draw into it. Top deck, Arceus. I'm like, okay.
It's
So
like,
deck.
well, oops.
Oops. So my friend's like, why did you misplay that? I'm like, no, I drew that. It just happened.
Right? You played to your
Yeah,
outs, which it sounds like was the Giratina.
it was the Giratina, but it was the wrong guy that came out. So that lost me the game.
That'll
So I'm
happen.
like, it happens. Like, nah, shake it off, shake it off. Go to the game tree. Game tree. I'm looking at my hand. Arceus, and no energy.
No.
Oh. So I just play the Arceus, and I'm just praying like, this top deck better be a good one. Top deck, DTE.
Ooh, that is a good feeling right there.
My heart jumped a bit. I'm like, DTE. I'm in the game. EA Sports is real.
And that's all you really need. Yeah, like you said, that's it. I have perfect setup.
Yeah, that saved me in the finals. So played the game, get the first KO with routes. Because he only put two routes down. So I thought something must be up. Which I found out after the match, he priced two routes.
Nice.
So my first turn of bossing up his other routes actually kind of paid off because now he only had one career to go after. So I set up my board with an Arceus, full energy, choice belt, just waiting for the Zacian to show up. The Zacian did show up. Here's my choice belt. Here's my V-Star. Knockout, 3 prizes.
Nice.
Now he just has Curlia and Cresselia thing. Knock out some other Mon, 2 prizes left. And then he's just left with Gardevoir, Cresselia, Zacian. I'm looking right, 2 prizes. That's where I started getting nervous. I'm like, 2 prizes, almost there, almost there. So he attacks me with his Gardevoir. He puts like I think damage to the point where the Gardevoir has 230 HP.
Mhm.
So this is where I messed up. I have an Arceus with Choice Belt, so I'm looking like 230 HP. Gardevoir, 230 HP. Oh, wait a second. I just win from here.
Oh no.
Yeah. I just got too excited. Retreat, attack. We shook hands. Then that's when I realized, wait a second. That's Choice Belt. That's not a V. Then Jimin's like, yeah, that's not a V. It's like, oh, right.
Oops.
Okay. Well, I just got nervous. I'm like, okay, well, I think I already announced deck, whatever. Cool. She's like, yeah, you keep that here.
Yeah. That's not the end of the
So,
world.
but
Hitting for 200 damage into a Gardevoir is pretty good.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, like, the most simplest thing I had was I had research in hand.
Mhm.
All I had to do was research. I actually checked after the game. Giratina Vista was right there. I had a Giratina V.
Oh, that would have just
All
gotten.
I had, that would have been game. All I had to do was research. I just got nervous. I just panicked a bit. I'm like, 230, perfect number. And then I just jumped the gun a bit. So that was a big whoopsies.
It'll happen. Oh, actually,
What
kind of a
happened?
lot. When you get that situation where you're like, oh, I just win. It's so easy to just make the play and then realize, oh, wait.
And just overthink. Like,
Yeah.
it's the anyone watching that game would have been like, you just research. What are you doing? It's like, yeah, I just researched. But I just got so excited, nervous. I don't know what to say. I'm like, 230. Yeah, Garivar. Yeah, sure. So mistake. But the funny thing is, his board was just a Cresselia, a Zacian that's gonna go down to my Arceus with energy,
Mhm.
my Arceus with choice belt, and that Gardevoir now has a lot of damage. And I'm holding on to Escape Rope in hand.
Yeah. So at that
So
point, you're
like,
just like, you're fine.
so I was like, so me and Jimmy, we were just joking. It's like, no, you can't win this easily. It's like, maybe I'm just throwing for you. Make the show interesting.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. So it's like he did his turn, Cresselia, knocks out my Giratina that's already had damage. Turn, Escape Rope. So it's like, yeah, those two guys are dead.
Yep. It's like GG's.
Like GG's like, and then that's where the judge is like, no, 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 do the thing properly. I'm like, yeah, yeah, let's do properly. That's where I realized, oh yeah, his Zacian with energies is covering a Temple of Sinnoh. It's like, oh, Temple of Sinnoh. Let me check. Oh, that's right. I still have two energies. It's fine. Just to be safe, you know?
Yes. No, that would have been a really bad, like,
Yeah, that would have been another whoopsie, but luckily I had the two energies, and the second escape rope is the reason why I have that thing right there. The plug.
Yes. Love to
And
see
then
the text working out incredibly well.
yeah, and after that, it's like, all right, my energy is just gone. I'm like, wow, okay, this is cool. Finally won something after years of trying.
Regional champion is absolutely massive. Congrats again, Cash.
Thank you. Yeah, like I was just like happy to just get top 16. Like, cool, I get to play some more. I didn't. I mean, I was confident that I could win, but did I think I would actually win? No, I'm like maybe top four. No, more points for the championship. Sure, why not? But win. I'm still speechless about it.
I think you got some more left in you as the season moves on.
Yeah, just one more event, the big one,
Is that the
the
only event
championship.
left in your season?
Yes, that's the one where the winner gets a day to invite straight to Worlds.
When is the tournament happening?
June 17th.
So the new set is going to be legal, correct? The Iono and etc.
We thought it would be, but as we found out, no, it's not legal. So we are playing this current format.
Oh, that changes things a lot then.
Yeah, that changes things a lot.
Ooh, well, I hope you're still grinding this format.
I'm gonna grind until June 17th, and then hopefully do enough to either get hopefully win the tournament, but hopefully do enough to get the points, stay in top 4, and hopefully get my first world invite.
So if people want to follow your journey, Cash, where can they find you? Any shout outs you might have, etc.
Cashman27, on Twitter, just it's there. Shout outs to everyone that I've played against locally, online. Everyone, even you, everyone who I played against made me a better player.
Love to see it. Highly recommend. Give Cash a follow on Twitter. Ton of good
Thanks.
stuff for sure coming from the Twitter, including we didn't get
shout out to PokeStats, of
yeah.
course. I can't
There we go. Including all the PokeStat stuff, but also all the other updates are 10 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Now we have to have you on in the future though to talk more about PokeStats.
Oh right, yeah, I forgot about that.
You're good. Myself, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at mellow_magikarp. Cash, thanks again for joining us. And this has been another episode of the Lake of Rage podcast. We'll catch you all next week.